So, assalamu alaikum, guys. We're back on another episode of the Honest Ibrahim podcast with your host, Honest Ibrahim. This is my friend Yousef, and this is a recurring episode. He's a recurring guest. So, hopefully, you guys like this one. Assalamu alaikum, Yousef. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah, bro. It's nice to have you on another episode. And this time we got all dressed up.
Yeah.
We have a proper mic here and everything's all set up in a nice way. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah.
It's way better than before.
Yeah, way better. We're more prepared this time.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys like this pod. So, Yousef, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, everything is good. How about you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Last time we talked about marriage and content creation and a bunch of other topics. This time I really wanted to hone in on the topic of marriage, especially within the young Muslim community, the young Muslim ummah and the youth today. So I've noticed around social media, just in the West in general, social media, Canada, US, UK, everywhere, people are obsessed with the idea of marriage. Young Muslims are obsessed with the idea of marriage. It's a timeless issue. It's a timeless problem. It's always reoccurring. So the question I'd like to ask you today, and I hope it's not too much, why are young Muslims so obsessed with the idea of marriage and wanting to get married at such a young age and so early?
So first of all, that's a good question, So much of the ulama, like there's so many sayings from scholars. They say that it's good to marry at a young age because you don't want to wait too long and it's considered bad. You want to marry at a younger age to have a better life with your spouse.
Yeah.
And including so from my perspective, so right now I graduated from university, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And many people the funny thing is they telling me go get married, go get married,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
at this age?
So at this age, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I was thinking should I get married? Should I get a job? So I was confused, having this decisive thoughts.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm hoping to get married. Maybe after I get a job,
really?
Apply for a job and stuff.
Inshallah, bro.
Inshallah. Because when you get a job, you're able to support your family, your spouse, and provide home, provide car, source of transportation, and all of that. Kind of to get prepared before you get to marry. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, that's a really good opinion on it as well. I agree that you should have a job or some sort of income before you get married. I agree that that's a huge deal, that you should have a job. You should have a source of income.
Yeah. So I wanted to also ask you the same thing, what are your thoughts about marriage?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So my thoughts on young marriage especially is that I agree with your points that we should get married at a young age, or we should get married at a relatively young age so that we can enjoy our times with our spouse at a youthful age. You don't want to be 40, 50 years old, getting married and then having kids, and you can't even hang out with your kids, right? By the time they graduate high school, if you get married at 50, you're going to be in your 70s.
Right.
Or in your late 60s. You're going to have your kids take care of you at that point, right? Well, at that point, you don't want to be too old and you don't want to be too young. You want to be at a right age. I agree with that point. And I agree that you should have a job and that marriage is something that you should really not rush into. You should take your time with it. You shouldn't rush into it. You should take your time and make sure you choose the right spouse, because you don't want to get divorced and married again, then divorced and married again, right? Yeah. You just want to do it one and done.
Right. That's true.
So that's my opinion on it. You should take your time with it. Don't rush into things.
Okay, that's actually a great point.
Right?
Thank you for that.
Yeah. No, it's just because when I was really interested in this topic, I was researching a lot about marriage. Like on my spare time, I would research, you know. So it's just something I'm like interested in now, and so yeah, I would love to have this discussion with you. That's why.
Okay.
And do you have any stories of, like, I have a story, for example. Like I have this, like, so many young people are married. So many young people are obsessed with this idea of marriage because they see other people getting married.
Yeah.
For example, when you're in your 20s, I said this in our last podcast, by the way, but when you're in your 20s, everyone's in a different stage of their life. They have some kids are in jobs, some kids are getting married, some people are in school, and some people are just at home. They're taking gap year, right?
Yeah.
Or they're just working somewhere else. So everyone's running their own race. That's the point. And so you shouldn't compare yourselves to others, especially when it comes to things like this.
Right.
When it's based on the qadr of Allah.
Yeah.
And everyone's on their own time. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and family. I would really appreciate it. We're trying to get the podcast to another level, inshallah, and benefit the ummah. So, inshallah, that you guys can help me out, and I can help you guys out by giving you the value that I believe you need, or giving you the value that I want to provide. Yeah. Okay. So, Yousef, moving on from the topic of marriage, there's just some things like, what are your thoughts on young Muslims comparing themselves to others in this ummah?
Okay. So
in this day and age.
In this day and age, like in the Western culture. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, like much of the Western cultures, like maybe many like younger Muslim, not even Muslims, but like non-Muslims, they go, and so during high school and during universities, they go make friends with like bunch of girls, you know, and they say that it's important because they can keep their friendship until they graduate and they can marry afterwards. But this concept is very wrong, because you would focus more on the girls than your studies.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you focus on the, you know, wanted to get married than your studies, basically. So so during my studies, like I always have this thought of like focusing on the studies and don't focus on talking to, you know, a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
Because I would have this focus on girls than my studies.
Yeah.
I want to get like higher GPA, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the like the main concept between us as Muslims and non-Muslims.
Yeah.
Because Muslims, again, you wanna, again, as I said, like focus on your thing and then marriage after.
Yeah.
Because and again, of course, you want to get married at a younger age, as I said. But afterwards, after you gained income, you to support your spouse and future family, and that's the most important thing to discuss.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. Yeah, like I completely agree that you shouldn't distract yourselves with the progress of other people,
right? And
you should always look at yourself instead of looking at other people. You know, life should be like a reflection on a mirror and not you looking through a glass. Because in that point, you're in a cage.
Right.
Right? If you're looking through glass or looking through bars, you're just in a cage, right? You're just trapped in your own life.
Right.
You can't proceed. You can't progress. So that's something I just wanted to put out there. And yeah, Yousef, so thank you for answering that. And I wanted to ask you another question. Before our podcast today, you were telling me about the importance of Moharam, the Islamic month of Moharam, which is which we are in right now. Inshallah, I will get this podcast edited and published before the end of Muharram.
Okay.
So we will, inshallah, you guys can get the benefit of that as well. So can you tell us what is the importance of Muharram?
Okay, so Muharram, so first of all, like the first days of Muharram, it's generally important because, and including like the 10th of Muharram, because 10th of Muharram is Ashura, which is a day when Prophet Musa, alayhi salatu wasalam, freed all the, the children of Israel from Pharaoh into the Red Sea. So it's generally important as well to fast that day.
Okay.
Because it's a good benefit and a good reward from Allah.
Yeah.
And so that's the 10th of Muharram. Even like during the 10th of Muharram, like during the first days of Muharram, first 10 days of Muharram, it's also important to fast like 1 or 2, 3 days.
Okay.
Including the 10th of Muharram. So that's my general knowledge about the month of Muharram.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I'll definitely take that into consideration, especially when we're in the first of Muharram right now, right?
Yeah.
So, like in 10 days, you're saying to fast.
Yeah, like the first 10 days of Muharram.
On the 10th days.
On the 10th, 10th days, it's important to fast.
Okay. Yeah. So what should we be doing between now and 10th of Muharram?
So now we kind of like prepare with ibadah, like this adhkar and increasing your like iman. Even like fast like Mondays and Thursdays. Okay. So especially because that's what Sayyidina Muhammad used to do. Yeah. So we should, copy the way he did, like fast Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So kind of like get prepared, for the 10th of
Muharram.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, and inshallah, bro. Inshallah, we should fast. Make as much dua as you want, right?
Yeah.
Because it's important to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yeah. So, Yousef, I just wanted to ask you, we can keep it more casual now, right?
Okay.
But I just wanted to ask you that, are you seeking Islamic knowledge? Are you looking towards being a student of knowledge in the near future, or are you looking right now?
So, I'm right now like looking into increasing my thoughts about Islam, reading different hadith, to increase the knowledge of like the teachings of Muhammad, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So that way I can have the knowledge of, and even like the important thing is like, you gain knowledge and then you use this knowledge to teach others, during da'wah, especially because when performing in da'wah, you're teaching others the introduction of Islam.
Yeah.
And that way you can gain rewards when a person like gains that knowledge from you and accepts Islam, then you will get the reward because you're the one who taught him about the Islam and the introduction of Islam. So that's the way like knowledge is in Islam, and it's very important to have knowledge first of all.
Okay, yeah. Inshallah, bro. Like, inshallah, we both gain knowledge. In terms of my knowledge, I really want to increase my knowledge. The thing I'm really looking for a sheikh I can talk to and ask questions I can get to know on a personal level, because I feel I'm more comfortable with people I'm close with.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you and I, we're good friends, so it's comfortable, It's comfortable to be yourself with someone you know.
Yeah.
So, like, one thing I'm looking for is to get to know, like, an imam. I really want to. There's one guy on YouTube. On TikTok, his name is Ibrahim Hindi. He's the local imam of a masjid in the area. Yeah. So, I would like to get to know him and perhaps, inshallah, get him on the podcast.
Inshallah.
I can ask him like Islamic questions, and there was a terrorist attack, right, at his masjid.
Yeah, that was like a long time ago. I think
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I think one year. I don't know, 2 years.
I think 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
So you were there, no?
So yeah, let me tell you like the story of what happened.
Yeah, okay, tell us, man. Oh shoot.
So as always, I always go to this masjid as it's close by. Mm-hmm. So like one day, like I was going for to pray Fajr. It was like at 5 a.m. or so. Wow. And then I was praying, okay, at the first like rak'ah, and then all of a sudden I heard like a spray sound. I thought it was like like a sprinkler, like the fire sprinkler.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then the smell came out of nowhere. Like I started smelling.
Yeah.
And it's the smell of the pepper or the
pepper spray.
Not the pepper spray, even like the bear spray. The
bear spray.
Yeah, they use it on the bears. So it's crazy. Like I don't know why the guys just came with a bear spray and started spraying.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You must have been like so nervous and scared. Wait, were you there with your family or your dad?
I was with my dad, like praying.
Oh shoot.
In the first like row. And then yeah, I had no idea. People started panicking. People are like don't know what to do,
Oh my god.
They started running.
Oh my god.
But the thing is, like, Allah gave me the strength of standing firm.
Inshallah. Ameen.
So
I don't know what to say to that, bro. SubhanAllah.
Crazy,
yeah. Continue, yeah.
So yeah, like so many people they started like leaving, okay, panicking.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw like an old man was really like going for it. Like he was going and attacking this man.
Wow.
And started like attacking, like avoiding like him to spray more and he was like the most impacted man. Like he started spraying in his eye so much.
Bear spray in the eye.
Yeah, bear spray in the eye. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
But I went to help him. Like Allah gave him, alhamdulillah, gave me the strength of standing firm. And then I came and I attacked him from behind without like him seeing me. To the point that he fell on the ground.
Wow.
And then people started like attacking.
Well, not attacking him, just
like pinning him to the ground.
Till the authorities arrived.
Yeah, pinning him to the ground until the cops came.
Yeah.
And they captured him. So alhamdulillah.
So was he charged with anything?
Yeah, so he was charged with like terrorist. Terrorist attack.
Terrorist attack in Canada, bro.
Yeah, hate crime even.
There's so much hate against Muslims, man. We have such a bad rap, bro. Yeah. Like a bad reputation.
It's not us though.
It's not us. It's just a stereotype.
It's not. It's the way like people think about Islam.
It's the media portrays us.
Yeah.
Okay, stop running. It's the way the media portrays us, right?
Right.
It's just why are they doing this to us, right? We didn't do anything to them.
Yeah. So that's why like I want to point out that since many people don't know about Islam, it's up to us to make dua, like da'wah.
Yeah.
Community da'wah always in major streets, even major like famous spots around the city where people actually go to this place, and because it's important to gather all these people, and not by force, but by whoever wants to learn about Islam or curious, they can go freely and talk to us, talk to the da'wah booth, where people get to know Islam, because that way you would limit the amount of Islamophobia happening around the city or even the country. So that's why. Yeah. And plus, I forgot to mention, this attacker was actually like an ex-Muslim. Like he was a Muslim before, and right now, I don't know, like he just didn't want to be a Muslim, or he hates Muslim. I don't know what happened.
That's sad to hear, honestly.
Yeah, it's
very sad. Yeah, I just wanted to say that thank you for your response, and
Thank you.
thank you for telling about the story about the terrorist attack. That's very scary, right?
Yeah.
And guys, let me know if you guys like this podcast. If you guys like the podcast, if you guys want more episodes, comment down what guests I should get on the podcast, and I like to focus on Nasheeds and content creation as well on my channel. So if you guys have any recommendations for Nasheeds, I would love to give it a listen and tell you guys what I think about them. So, Yousef, I just wanted to hone in, go back on the topic of marriage, right? Okay. So, the reason why I think that so many young people want to get married is because whenever I'm on TikTok or something, all the TikTokers who end up getting married, they always get such a huge following, if you ever notice.
Yeah.
This happened with so many people. So just to name a couple. Yousef Truth, he's a YouTuber, content creator, based out of the US. He got so many views and I believe so many followers because he got married. And when he got married, the video where he showed his marriage day, his wedding day, the TikTok where he showed his wedding day, that video got so many views of his nikah, bro. It was like 2 million plus views.
Wow, that's crazy.
And just him being like, "Oh, I'm so nervous," right? It's like, "Oh, can't wait. I've been waiting for this day." Or whatever. So looking at that, I was like, "Wow, this got so many views," right?
Yeah.
And then now he does more marriage content. He does his old content too sometimes, and he does marriage content now too. So it's like a 50-50, or like it's a balance now. He adds marriage content into it. And then another YouTuber who got married recently, content creator or influencer, her name is Miriam. Miriam, I don't know her last name.
Okay.
But if you search her up, she'll be there. She got married to this guy, and in the UK, she's based out of the UK, and now I feel most of her videos are mainly about marriage, and so that always pops up on my For You page because that's like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that's the type of stuff I like too, right? Like, because honestly, if you're into something, right, if you're into something that much, you're obviously gonna watch videos about it, right? You want to learn more about it, and then the For You page just happens to know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
They just always end up showing you what you like. So that's something that happened recently, and that's what I noticed, right?
Yeah.
So many people, they want to get married, bro, and so many people, like, they watch stuff because that's what and then so many people are just putting it out there because they want to show the world, right? Which is, there's a different opinion on that one, right? But what's your thought about showing your marriage to the world? Because a lot of people, right? There's a YouTube couple, I forgot their name, but I'll put them on the screen if I can find them. They got married, and then they used to do so much content about their marriage and being a couple, and then they had kids as well.
Okay.
And then they got divorced.
Oh.
Yeah, and then the wife, she went on a podcast. I didn't watch it, but I saw clips, and she was saying that, I believe she said that they're constantly like focusing on like content, and they weren't really focusing on each other. So because a big factor that plays into this is nazar, right? Like evil eye.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like, they show their marriage, and I believe a lot of people are scared of getting evil eye, right?
Yeah. Or even jealous,
Or even jealousy, yeah. So it's very scary. So what's your thought about showing your spouse on the internet? A lot of people count this as a dayuth, right? If a guy shows his wife online, they say he's a dayuth, but that's far from the meaning, right? What's your thought about Muslim couples showing each other, showing their spouses online on the internet for everyone to see?
Okay, so we live in a day and age where content creators, they feel like you want to show to the world, like everything about their life. showcasing everything,
Yeah.
But the fewer the audience perspective of them looking at their videos, it's so they have this evil eye and jealousy that like how come they get to marry, how come they get to live there and go this place and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That's a that's why we live in a day and age like that. It's crazy. But I want to discuss about like the Prophet Muhammad's time, where Prophet Muhammad like married Khadija.
Okay. Yeah, tell us about that.
So yeah, like he married Khadija, but he kept it private.
Okay.
Kept it between him and his wife. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So so it's important to like keep it private. You wanna like have this marriage between you and your wife. Okay. You don't wanna like spread it.
Yeah.
Because again, like many, so it's a form of like you don't wanna like make people jealous of you, or you don't wanna like make an evil eye.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts about it, and so I mean I'm not saying it's bad to showcase your marriage, but I'm saying is like you're gonna spread more people like jealous of you and wanted to,
want the worst to happen for you.
Yeah.
And then they might make evil eye against you.
Evil eye against you. Yeah.
Wow. That's really scary. Eh?
Yeah.
That's like very scary. You have to like stay away from that.
So yeah.
Like, cause it's something that so many people are into, like marriage.
Right.
That all the young people want to get married, and so when they do get married, right, they want to show the whole world.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you get money, right?
Right.
When rich people, they start making money, certain types of rich people, right? Certain groups. But let's say if you're young money and you get like rich really, like you get rich while you're young, or you get rich like you've been waiting, you're not financially well off your whole life, and then all of a sudden you get rich. You're gonna show off a bit, right? You're gonna get like a cool car. You're gonna rev. If you're gonna get a Lambo, you're gonna rev it around the city, right? You're gonna drive it around and show people, show it on Instagram, maybe YouTube, right? Show your friends and family and like people, strangers are gonna look at you driving your car, and then I can picture that and I can correlate it to marriage, right? You're waiting your whole life to get married. You want to get married so badly. Yeah. And then one day you get married and you want to show the whole world. Yeah. What's one way of doing that? Putting that online for everyone to see, right? Yeah. It's not just going to the mall anymore with your spouse and just going shopping and just, just spending on her, just showing the world that, oh, hey, I have a wife to spend money on. It's now... Yeah, hey guys, I have a wife, and you're gonna see us online. Like that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
also like I want to point out as well that it's good to have marriage. It's like it's the best time to have in your life, in your lifetime. That's the starting point. That's the happiest point you get.
Yeah.
But you still have to show like your source of intention of Allah, that Allah brought you this wife to marry. A good wife that respects you, that is very proactive in Islam, and having this worship every day, having this intention of Allah as well. It's very important. But many people nowadays, content creators, like they tend to showcase their like marriage to focus on the dunya, like focus on the like daily life, like spending millions of dollars on like houses, cars and all of that stuff.
But one thing,
or they wanted to show people how great they are with their marriage,
Just one thing, like I think it's not just content creators. I think it's just more like it's a thing that people have within them, right?
Right.
It's just. It's people who might have just gotten married and then they start posting their spouse online, right?
Right.
So it honestly is kind of like, I can see why people do it, but at the same time they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as they show that
they have the right intention.
The right intention to have marriage, or to teach people like that marriage is important and how important is marriage in Islam and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like have this constant reminder of people who are seeking to marry, how they should approach like the good and halal way to marry, having this nikah and all of that stuff. That's also good, like to remind people like how marriage is important at a young age and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, I have it's very important for the wife and the husband to be aware of Allah and get married for the right reasons, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of that, I believe. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention, that like I have a cousin who's a year younger than both of us, and she got married recently last year. Okay. To this guy who's her husband now. They got married. Alhamdulillah, like they got married. They had their nikah done, but yeah, they're both young. They're both Muslim, alhamdulillah, and they got married, which is, at the time, we were kind of like, is this too early, right? But alhamdulillah, they're making it work, right? So it's all based on timing, and you shouldn't compare yourself to others. Like, I know some people, they would get jealous, right? Right. Or I don't know them though, but I'm just saying some people just generally would get jealous of someone young, like people getting married, right? Like, so I think it's just, when someone gets married, you should just keep wish the best for them, don't get jealous, don't feel like resentment towards them or anything like that. Just get married,
or like just to keep it private, between you and your spouse. Like that's my like thing. I don't want to like in the near future, like I don't want to spread like, or like show all the people like we'll get married, like because they might feel that jealousy, even though they say like mashallah, like you got married,
so there's one other thing I want to ask you, that is this a scenario, okay? Scenario. So just like give me your thought of what you would do. Okay. So let's say you found a spouse, right? Like you found this girl and you want to get married to her. Okay. But she's like, your parents don't really like her that much. They want you to find someone better. Okay. But you really like her and you can see a future with her. What would you do? Would you say no, or would you go for it?
So it's a more decisive thought, like
it's a tricky situation, right?
I mean, your parents like don't want you to marry her and you want to marry her. Yeah. It's like a mix of.
So what would you do?
So I would first like seek help from Allah, obviously. Okay. Pray like salat istikhara. Yeah. Because it's a decisive thought, right? Yeah. So you're choosing to marry her, but your parents are telling you not to marry her. Yeah. So istikhara, it's a very good step to have like any decisive thought, like not even marriage. Yeah. Like anything you have, like two decisive thing you wanna think about, whether to go this way or this way. You always have to pray like salat istikhara, because seeking help from Allah, because Allah is the best of planners, of course, and He chooses the best thing for you, as long as you're having the intention,
and tawheed.
Yeah. So that's my response, I would say.
That's a great response, bro. Come on, bro. That's really good. Yeah. Like honestly, like that would probably like honestly, I'd probably do the same, to be honest, right? Yeah. Make salat istikhara, talk to your family members, right? Get their opinions, from not just your parents, but from, let's say, your aunt and uncles, your siblings.
Yeah.
You don't want to spread it too much, right? Because you don't want everyone to know your business, but your close, intimate family, you should probably just let them know, like, this is what's going on.
Right.
Can you help advise me what to do?
Yeah.
Ask a local imam. That's why I want to, like, that's not the only reason, but I really want to become friends with an imam.
Yeah.
So I can just ask some personal questions like this.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't just go to a random imam on the street and just ask them, right? You'll feel uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, if you have a foundation of friendship before that, then you can ask them, like, any question, really.
Yeah.
And then...
And, sorry, I have to add something.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
So, also, like, you pray Salat Istikhara, but in the same time, you don't want to, like, marry her, like right away, you know?
Yeah.
You want to delay it until, like one time Allah will give you, like, an opportunity whether to marry it or not marry it, or marry someone even better, you know? Have not better by the look or appearance, but better in the eyes of Allah, like having like, you know, like always practicing Islam, you know. You don't want to, like, marry someone by the look, but by the personality, you know.
Yeah, so I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, you should do Salat Istikhara, talk to your friends and family, not maybe just family. Close, intimate family. Just let them know the situation and their opinion on it.
Right.
Salat Istikhara and get like the way you feel afterwards, right? That's a huge sign of what to do. And if everything goes well in your favor and everything's aligning with the signs, like everything's aligning, and you should get married to the girl you like, right? You should then just speak to your parents and just let them know that, hey, this is what happened. I prayed Salat Istikhara and I have a good feeling. Talk to the girl's parents, and you know, and then inshallah, like, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and everything will work out, inshallah.
Inshallah, right?
Inshallah. Yeah, and I completely agree with what you were saying. You shouldn't go based on just looks. Obviously, you should be attracted to the person. Right? And Dr. Zakir Naik said this as well. He said that you shouldn't be just attracted. You shouldn't be only based on the looks. You shouldn't go based off the looks only of a potential spouse. You should always go based on their character, their religion, their personality, and you should be attracted to them, right? Yeah. That's a given, and you should see if you guys have that mutual feeling, right? But you shouldn't just go based on looks, because looks go away eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So you shouldn't just do that.
So, you know, I remember, like, one thing. So my uncle.
Yeah.
So since I was a young age, like, he married someone not really practicing Islam, like.
Oh.
So I mean, she's Muslim, but she's not really practicing Islam.
Yeah. Okay. And then what?
And then there was, like, conflict happening, you know, until there's a day he divorced her. You know? And he married someone, like, my uncle married someone even better, like a Pakistani wife.
Oh, Pakistani.
Yeah, Pakistani.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Egyptian and Pakistani, bro. Let's go.
Pakistani, yeah.
Let's go.
So, yeah. But, you know, like, so he saw her, like, by the looks and even, like, by her character, that she was really, like, practicing Islam.
That's good, alhamdulillah.
I haven't got a chance to meet her, like, in person, but we had, like, a video chat, you know. Like, I was congratulating her for marrying, you know, my uncle.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she was, like, a Pakistani, and she was, like, really, really good, like, really having the knowledge of Islam, and you know, like,
that's good.
Always praying, always, like, having, like, a relationship with Allah, you know.
Yeah, I want to meet this uncle of yours. I want to see, like, bro, day, you know? Bro, inshallah, bro. Inshallah. Bro, come on, maybe get him on the pod.
Maybe, inshallah.
Him and his wife, how they met, maybe, bro. That'd be such a cool episode, guys. Right?
I mean, if they're willing to share,
but
sure if they're willing to.
That's my that's one of, like, the goals I have on my podcast. Is like to get more people on and have more personal stories on the podcast, so I can have, like, maybe like a three-way podcast. So I can ask questions and they can answer together, and like I can ask, oh, how did you meet the spouse of yours, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would be interested in that, and I'm also interested in that.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Inshallah, bro.
Inshallah.
Wow, like, alhamdulillah, bro. Like, that was a good story that you shared, and yeah, like, we're we're running out of time almost, but we'll see. Like, I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
And I was watching this podcast. I forgot the name of the podcast, but there was these two sheikhs, right? I'm not sure if they're sheikhs. I think one was a sheikh and one was a host. And they were asking, he was asking, what's, I was like, a way to find halal love in this time and age, right? This day and age. So what's your opinion on finding, like, a spouse in this day and age?
You mean like...
in a halal way.
Okay, you mean like finding in a halal way, like, so okay, so I will just talk briefly about that. So you know, like, it's important to marry like someone the halal way. So first of all, like, having your parents like meet your, you know, like your future wife, and having your wife's parent or future wife's parents like meet you with the family, having this connection first of all, and sharing thoughts, sharing interests, you know, of course that's important. That's the first step. And I was gonna say as well, like, if it's up to you, like, to marry that person, you know, like, but it's also better like to marry someone from your like your, you know, like relatives and stuff. Because relatives, you know, you have it's in your family tree, like it's in your like lineage, you know. So you have this very common like interest. You're in the same family tree, family relatives. So it's up to you to, you know, like choose to marry someone, you know, of interests.
Like, I understand where you're coming from with that point, but a lot of people might say that's kind of like, some people are against that, I would say, because people don't want to they don't want to keep it in the family per se. Like, there's a bad stigma around it.
Right.
So, like, what's your opinion on that, on the stigma around that type of marriage?
So many people wanna like make it like private. Between, like, they don't want to let their parents know. I don't know. Like, I've heard stories, but that's it's good to keep it like with your family, you know. Family connection. Because that's, you're sharing the same interests, you know, who you're marrying, you know, and
I can see it, but like, I feel that's more of a cultural thing. I feel a lot of people in the West these days, like I know back in Pakistan, right? In Pakistan, a lot of people, like, they get married to their cousins, second cousins, and like, it's very common in that area. But like, over here, that's really frowned upon. Like, in the West, I would say that's really frowned upon. But like, it's allowed in Islam. That's all that matters. So if that's like, if there's no problem in Islam, there shouldn't be any problem in like anywhere you go in the world, because the world is only temporary, right?
And I see people as well, like, when they feel like you're marrying, they make first of all connection with whichever like girls they want to talk with. Maybe like during school and during university. They study together. They talk about studying. They even talk about their interests. What do you like? What do you don't like? And so on and so forth, until they graduate together. And then they feel like they have this connection that they want to marry, right? And like, I mean, that's That's what like the Western influence is really about. Like even non-Muslims do that, you know.
Yeah.
They become friends with a girl until they become a point where they marry.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Muslims do marry like the same way non-Muslims do, you know.
Yeah, like
they make friends.
Like boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? Haram relationship.
Yeah.
There was this thing that I heard a while back. It was that you shouldn't get into a haram relationship because you don't want to urine on the seed that you grow.
Right.
So I know it's a weird saying, but picture like a tree seed or like a flower seed. If you, let's say, you get it dirty and you don't take care of the seed, and like you get it, you pee on the seed, right? Basically, and then you end up putting it in the ground and like you don't water it properly, right? Yeah. And then one day you're like, oh, I forgot about the seed. Let me just water it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna water that seed. It's not gonna grow properly. Right? Yeah. It's not gonna grow properly. So that you can probably take that analogy as like for marriage, right? If you don't want to disturb the seed that you're gonna grow, right? Like you're gonna have a family with this person, right? That you're in a haram or you're in a relationship with, right? People say, oh, I'll make it halal one day, right? But when is that day gonna come, right? And also, like, the dunya is so temporary. So what happens if you just don't end up getting the chance to marry that person? Yeah. Then what? You wasted their time, and you wasted your time, perhaps, right? Yeah. And all this time you could have been doing everything in the halal manner, under like the halal shelter, right?
Yeah. Okay. So this masjid next to where I live. Yeah. So they were doing like an event, a marriage gathering.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. So they invited like many people to come to the masjid to meet, to have this connection with a bunch of sisters.
Wow. Yeah. In the masjid.
In the masjid.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and
get
then
to know like sisters, you know. Like, yeah. Share thoughts, you know, stuff like that. I didn't want to go.
Did you go?
I didn't go.
Oh, you should have went, bro. Bro.
But I was busy that day, so that's why I didn't go. But it was a great opportunity to kind of like share thoughts and stuff with a bunch of sisters, you know.
Wow, and under a halal manner.
Halal manner, yeah, of course.
Wow, I would do that.
Yeah,
I would do that.
But yeah. I didn't have the time. Like I was busy that day, unfortunately.
Well, that's fine. Inshallah, bro, they have more days like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sense of community like this, it's better, you know. To even like if a person feels down and they like having a hard time looking for sisters, it's a great opportunity to go to a masjid like event like this.
Yeah.
Where they get to, you know, talk to a bunch of sisters, you know, and having this matchmaking, you know.
Yeah, halal matchmaking.
Halal matchmaking.
Bro, there's this show on Netflix. It's called Indian Matchmaking. Okay. But it's like Hindu marriage and stuff.
Okay.
Or like, I think it's Hindu and Christian maybe, but like it's like okay at times. Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of weird. Like they do kind of like weird stuff that like they do like face readings or something. Yeah. But like I don't think that's allowed in Islam. But like they have Indian matchmaking now. Okay. We have halal matchmaking. Inshallah, bro. Thank you, Yousef. I believe that about wraps it up, eh? So it was a great podcast, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast and enjoyed my friend and coming on. Say thank you to my friend in the comments. Say thank you, Yousef. Thank you, Yousef, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys watching enjoyed it. You enjoyed it?
It's a great time, you know, to discuss and share thoughts with honest Ibrahim, you know.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Come on. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast wherever you're watching it, on your phone, at home. So, inshallah, comment down any guests you'd like me to have on the podcast. Hope you guys like the new the new setup that we kind of have going on.
Yeah,
and
we did a bit of an upgrade, you know.
Yeah, a little bit of upgrading. Yeah. Inshallah, there's more upgrading soon to come. And please like the podcast, share the podcast with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Honest Ibrahim. There should be a button there for you to subscribe. And hope you guys like the podcast. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you for watching.
Okay.
Bye.